Herbert Marcuse's One-Dimensional Man, published in 1964, is a cornerstone of critical theory that examines the socio-political and cultural conditions of advanced industrial society. Marcuse, a member of the Frankfurt School, critiques the pervasive consumer culture, the suppression of critical thought, and the integration of oppositional forces into the dominant system. His analysis reveals how modern societies stifle individual freedom and critical reasoning, producing what he calls one-dimensional individuals. This book is a profound exploration of conformity, technological rationality, and the ideological apparatuses that sustain advanced capitalism. Context of the work. Marcuse wrote One-Dimensional Man during a period of rapid economic growth, technological advancement, and political tension during the Cold War. Western societies were characterized by consumer abundance, a burgeoning middle class, and the dominance of mass media. On the surface, these developments seemed to promise freedom and progress. However, Marcuse argued that these were illusions masking deep-seated societal contradictions and repression. He critiqued both capitalist and communist systems for fostering conformity and suppressing critical thought, ultimately leading to the dehumanization of individuals. The concept of one-dimensionality. The central concept of the book is one-dimensionality, which refers to the loss of critical and oppositional thinking in advanced industrial societies. Marcuse posits that individuals in such societies are subsumed by a system that integrates all forms of opposition into its logic, making genuine critique and resistance nearly impossible. The result is a society where people are unable to imagine alternatives to the status quo. Marcuse contrasts this with two-dimensional thinking, which he associates with critical and dialectical reasoning. Two-dimensional thought recognizes contradictions and seeks transformative change. In contrast, one-dimensional thought reinforces the given reality, aligning individual desires and aspirations with the existing social order. Technological rationality and domination. Marcuse delves into the concept of technological rationality, arguing that technology in advanced industrial societies is not neutral, but is deeply intertwined with systems of control and domination. Technology serves as an instrument for organizing and controlling individuals, standardizing behavior, and perpetuating the existing order. In this framework, technological progress is not inherently liberatory. Instead, it becomes a means of repression when it prioritizes efficiency, productivity, and consumerism over human freedom and well-being. Marcuse critiques the technological veil, where technological advancements obscure the exploitative nature of the system and create a false sense of freedom through consumer choices and material abundance. The role of consumer culture. A significant portion of Marcuse's critique focuses on consumer culture, which he sees as a central mechanism for maintaining the one-dimensional society. The system manipulates needs, creating artificial desires that align with the interests of capital. Advertising, mass media, and consumer goods create a false consciousness, diverting attention from systemic inequalities and reinforcing the dominant ideology. Marcuse introduces the concept of repressive desublimation, where socially taboo or oppositional desires are commodified and integrated into the system. For example, the countercultural movements, aesthetics, and rhetoric are appropriated by consumer culture, neutralizing their oppositional potential. This process ensures that even rebellion and dissent are absorbed into the market, sustaining the system rather than challenging it. The erosion of critical thought. Marcuse argues that advanced industrial societies erode critical thinking through the standardization of thought and the domination of instrumental rationality. Education, mass media, and political discourse discourage questioning the status quo, fostering a passive acceptance of the existing order. This intellectual conformism is exacerbated by the narrowing of language, a phenomenon Marcuse calls operationalized language. In this form of language, concepts and ideas are reduced to their functional or utilitarian aspects, limiting the capacity for abstract and critical thought. This linguistic impoverishment parallels the larger societal trend of reducing complex issues to manageable, non-threatening terms. Political implications. Marcuse's critique extends to the political realm, where he argues that both capitalist democracies and state socialist regimes perpetuate one-dimensionality, In capitalist democracies, the illusion of freedom is maintained through consumer choices and the formal mechanisms of democracy, such as voting. However, these mechanisms often fail to challenge the underlying power structures or bring about substantive change. In state socialist systems, Marcuse observes a similar suppression of dissent and critical thought, albeit through different means. He critiques both systems for prioritizing stability and control over human freedom and creativity. For Marcuse, the true potential of socialism lies in its capacity to transcend the logic of domination, a potential that state socialism had largely failed to realize. The possibility of liberation. Despite his bleak diagnosis, Marcuse does not entirely dismiss the possibility of liberation. He identifies marginalized groups such as students, artists, and minority populations as potential agents of change. These groups exist on the periphery of the dominant system and are less fully integrated into its logic, giving them the capacity to imagine and strive for alternatives. Marcuse also emphasizes the importance of aesthetics and imagination in envisioning a liberated society. Art, he argues, has the potential to challenge the one-dimensionality of modern society by presenting alternative visions of reality and exposing the contradictions of the existing order. However, Marcuse acknowledges the formidable obstacles to liberation, given the pervasive nature of ideological control and the system's capacity to absorb and neutralize dissent. He does not offer a detailed blueprint for revolutionary change, but insists on the necessity of preserving the critical utopian impulse. Relevance and critiques. One-Dimensional Man remains a significant work for its incisive critique of consumer culture, technological rationality, and ideological domination. Marcuse's analysis continues to resonate in contemporary discussions of neoliberalism, mass media, and the commodification of dissent. The book challenges readers to question the taken-for-granted realities of modern life and to imagine alternative possibilities for human freedom and flourishing. However, the work is not without its critiques. Some have argued that Marcuse's analysis is overly pessimistic and deterministic, underestimating the capacity for agency and resistance within advanced industrial societies. Others have critiqued his romanticization of marginalized groups and his lack of concrete proposals for achieving liberation. Additionally, Marcuse's focus on advanced industrial societies has been critiqued for neglecting the experiences of the global South and the complexities of post-colonial societies. His emphasis on technology as a tool of domination has also been questioned in light of more recent debates on the emancipatory potential of digital technologies and social media. Herbert Marcuse's One-Dimensional Man offers a powerful critique of the socio-cultural conditions of advanced industrial societies, exposing the mechanisms of domination that sustain the status quo. Through his analysis of one-dimensionality, technological rationality, and consumer culture, Marcuse provides a framework for understanding the ways in which freedom and critical thought are suppressed in modern life. While the work is deeply critical of contemporary society, it also gestures toward the possibility of liberation through critical thought, imagination, and the actions of marginalized groups. One-Dimensional Man challenges readers to confront the contradictions of their own societies and to resist the forces of conformity and domination. Its enduring relevance lies in its ability to provoke critical reflection and inspire efforts to envision and create a more just and liberated world.